But it does contain the unstoppable Exodia.
Impossible!
I've assembled all 5 special cards, all 5 pieces of the puzzle.
Exodia! It's not possible! No one's ever been able to call him!
Exodia! Obliterate!
教えてよ、人はなぜ探し続けるの？限りなく切ない明日の夢見つめてる悲しい夜には自分を確かめたくて君に口づけしたね。ずっと追いかけ続けた夢はいつ掴めるのか。誰にもそれはわからないけれど何一つ変えられないこの想い譲れない War in the sun 嵐に向かって羽ばたく鳥のように輝きの中で風になれ
Exodia, the forbidden one.
What's up, duelers? It's Project, and welcome to another Nioh build video. This time showcasing the endgame build I've been working on a few days now that I've teased in my patch 1.16 video, my one-shot EI build, Exodia! Before I jump into gear, you should be warned first and foremost that this is a glass cannon build. So, much like Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh!, you win the duel if you have all 5 pieces, but if you don't, then you're screwed. So they share a risk-reward style of play. I like to specialize and go all in on one thing in my builds, and for this one it is all offense, foregoing any defense whatsoever, as literally you'll be at 1 HP for most encounters. Despite my gear being all heavy armor, I'll still get 2 to 3 shot from normal stuff at full health in Way of the Wise, so I thought, why even bother? Let's slap on leeching and go critical for more damage. I survive encounters thanks to dash attacks nullify, which makes me immune to all damage, and that's how I can survive for the most part. But your main enemy is ranged projectiles, since you're kinda helpless and will die if you get shot, obviously, but it's a risk reward build, so there is some challenge for those wanting an absolute powerhouse build, but with the risk factors so you're not just brain dead when playing. Now that that's out of the way, let's hop into gear. Like my Hokage Uzumaki build, this is not an easy build to make, so don't bother trying if you're not in Way of the Wise and can farm the gear efficiently. That's just the way it is, sadly, with ethereals being drop only, and this build nearly has to have everything ethereal. Anyways, we take advantage of a revenant exclusive ethereal set in Way of the Wise, futsunushi. Its 6-piece bonus gives EI Quick Draw a 40% power boost, together with a standard close combat damage of 13% from the 4-piece. That's 53% total damage towards EI from the set alone, an awesome bonus. You also get Nullify Weakened Melee Weapon, which makes the most irritating debuff in the Way of the Wise that I begrudged about in my other post-DLC build videos, so you never have to worry about losing your weapon's effects if you get hit by an enemy with Weakened Melee Weapon. To obtain this set, you need to fight revenants with ethereal gear on. However, only Grace of ethereal gear will drop as futsunushi. So for example, somebody wearing ethereal Kingo armor, once killed they will drop ethereal Kingo armor. But if someone was wearing, say, Susanoo pieces, then they'll drop as futsunushi. You can't get any other Grace of besides futsunushi from revenants, just FYI. The sucky part about this is the drop rates are horrendous, so you'll be grinding hours upon hours to put together the setup I have with the right requirements. That is, having enough weight to surpass 30.1 weight for our equipment weight damage bonus on a ranged weapon to get its full benefit, which that damages agility bonus if you're at B agility. You could go A agility route to match the same power if you can find all light armor pieces, but you'll be less defensive. Up to you. I settle for what I got, otherwise I descend into despair. Now, you must configure your setup so whereas the helmet is freed up, to which Fanatic takes its place, giving me 20% more close combat attack when in critical state, that is below 30% HP. So the helmet is the only piece that doesn't need to be ethereal if you have Fanatic as your helm, which in turn means futsunushi stuff cannot be on the helmet slot. In other words, this is so if you want to change your helmet to, say, Kodama Ball or Hino-enma's helm for more paralysis damage, you can do so without losing the bonus of futsunushi. So your 5th futsu piece has to be one of your weapons. The 3rd set I use is amaterasu. Again, super hard to find, especially the ranged weapons. The method I use is the One-Eyed Dragon Castle mission. Basically, you rush to a corpse spot and check the items. If there's no ethereal weapon, suicide or use travel amulets, then pray at the shrine, run back again to the corpse and check it again. If there's no ethereal ranged weapon, pick up the boots this time, suicide, pray at the shrine, and then run back once more. And if there's no ethereals, grab whatever weapon drops and then fragment out and then try the mission again. So it's basically like Trail of the Master method for farming Yasukanis. It goes similarly like that. Amaterasu gives you 640 life for 3-piece bonus and 13% CCD at 4-piece bonus. Its 5th bonus, Change to Attack Spirit A, looks tasty, but from testing, going from 9 to 99 Spirit only gave me about 111 attack, which is far less than a standard 13% close combat damage stat. Thus, my favorite 2-piece in the game, Fanatic's 2-piece, gives me much more damage, so that's why I don't get the 5th bonus of Amaterasu. And now, going to the most tedious thing to find that I actually got lucky with getting early on, and why I even put this build together in the first place, is your main sword. It has to be either futsunushi, Amaterasu, maybe even Fanatic, but it must be ethereal, and it must have a star effect, EI draw. All 3 of those are a pain to find since there's no boss you can kill for an easier time at getting it, and as you can see, I got unlucky and wound up with only 6 stats, and it's one of the weakest katanas there is to get. If you can get a 7 slot that only has a set bonus though, then your last bonus would be weakened torso for more damage. So not only do you have to get lucky to get an ethereal, a part of the sets I mentioned, you also have to be lucky to get a star effect EI draw, and you gotta get lucky with getting 7 slots or 6 stats with no inheritable. This is the grind Team Ninja thinks we're okay with. Ridiculous. Anyways, the stats you see are the number 1 stats you need. All are irreplaceable. However, the dash attack can be either nullify or attack times 2, to which you get the other one that you don't get on weapon on gloves. If you don't know what dash is, it's basically sprinting in this game, so holding the X button and moving forward. Now, while doing that, you have to attack, and that will trigger the dash attack buffs once you hit an enemy, and only when you hit an enemy, so you have to actually hit them. For your primary ranged weapon, you want equipment weight damage bonus A on it. The rest of the stats are your choice, preferably aiming movement speed and equipment drop rate for more ethereal chances. And the second weapon is irrelevant, you just need it for the amaterasu bonus. And now, moving on to armor. Not going to show them all at once anymore on one screen, since that actually took a lot of work, so I'm just going to spend 10 seconds hovering over each armor, so pause the video if you need to. You want attack on all armor. You want bonus and root absorption attack on helm. You need tenacity on one of your armors. The gloves, as I mentioned before, you need a dash attack, nullify, or attack times 2, the opposite of your weapon. On boots, you need attack times 2 after purification. This maintains your damage on some yokai bosses encounters when you step into the realm, as your dash attack will often deplete before you can land an attack. And the rest is up to you. You might need some weight reduction on armor if you want to save points on stamina. For charms, you want yokai close combat damage and close combat attack enemy paralyzed, since I use paralytic ground fire a lot and it helps a ton, so more damage. If you're lucky, you can get both on one charm like you saw there, but if you can only take one, get yokai close combat damage over a pair of hacks. And now, moving on to stats. Ignore level, as I'm not caring about staying lowish level anymore, giving all the cap increases. The minimum or important stats needed will be on the right. Stamina will vary depending on your armor weight obviously, but make sure to get your weight over 30.1 total if you don't plan to go A agility. If you do go A agility, obviously you save points, and that's probably the better setup now that I think about it. Moving on to spirits, we get best bird for maximum damage. High stance gives you an attack buff that outdamages Kato, and with extraction talisman you'll always have it up. Mid stance gives you a defense buff, and low stance gives you key recovery. The mouse will give you the most damage for secondary spirits. Now there's some tricky tech you have to be aware of that I constantly use in a video that will make encounters safer. If you're not that good a player, then just stick to dash attacking in high stance, then going into EI. But what I normally do is use low stance for my dash attack, then hop into EI with R1 plus circle. However, while doing and holding that, I use the tip of my thumb to also press the triangle button to put me in high stance. The point of this is low stance is super quick and agile, letting you get it hidden, and once you hit, you'll extract Amrita from Extraction Talisman. Tengen only gives the attack buff while in high stance. So I do a dash attack in low stance, go into EI, and by the time the Amrita gets to me, I'll have pressed the triangle to be in high stance. So I get the high stance attack buff without having to use the slower and more limited high stance dash attack. Make sense? Hopefully it does, as I have no other way of explaining it. For your clan, you want Kuroda or Toto. Kuroda will outdamage Toto if you only got 4 heavy pieces, but with Toto you gain life for whatever reason you want that. Kuroda maximizes damage at 4 to 5 buffs I think it's 4, and I use a ton constantly, so I always have max damage from it. Moving on to Omnio, Ninja, and weapon passives. Here they are. Feel free to pause the video to get what you need. Water Talisman can be replaced with anything you want, as it's not really needed. I suggest Kekai Talisman or Sloth Talisman. You can't fit all the Omnio and Ninja stuff on your hotbars since you can only fit 8 things, so if you need to use Quick Change or Power Pill, just rearrange your item box so your skills are at the bottom of the page for easy and quick access. And finally, moving on to skills. Standard stuff, you should know everything for sword by now. Get Indomitable Spirit and Relentless. Get EI Quick Draw 3. For Mystic Art, get the one and only Sword of Execution for more damage. And honestly, the rest is up to you. I like Water Shadow and Back Wave for parries, and Swift Step is kind of fun to use. But after that, the rest of the points you have left over dump into Melee Mastery for more damage. And that does it for my Exodia one-shot EI sword build. Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun playing it. Yes, it's supremely overkill and probably not the best overall sword build, But again, it's fun seeing those high numbers and having the possibility to die at any turn. It keeps your brain working and moving. So I hope you guys like it, and good luck putting it together. I mean that both sarcastically and sincerely. From farming with this build, I actually stumbled across these beauties, but honestly, Sign of the Cross is just an EI ripoff anyways, so probably won't do anything for dual swords since it'll just be one-shot thing just like this, but weaker. They really need to add a Windstorm Star effect. I want Blender back. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I had a ton of fun putting the montage of this build together. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the effort I put into making this video. Make sure to check the description for more thoughts and tips. And if you like this video, obliterate that like button, comment down below with any questions, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference epicness.